War. It is a constant, silent, and ruthless reality on the reef. Forget what you've seen in the documentaries. Forget the tranquil ballet of fish and the gentle sway of anemones. That is merely the civilian population going about its business. Look closer. Down here, in the sun-dappled canyons, a slow-motion, chemical arms race is always underway. There are no declarations, no treaties, only territory, and every inch of it is paid for in a currency of poison. Our story begins, as these things often do, with a real estate dispute. On a promising outcrop of limestone, we have a contender, a colony of Pavona, let's call them. They're the methodical, sprawling type. Think of a quiet, unassuming neighbor who meticulously tends his lawn and has a bunker full of bioweapons under the patio. They've been expanding, millimeter by patient millimeter, for decades. They are the established power. And then, the new kids on the block move in. A flashy, vibrant colony of Acropora. They're the tech bro startups of the reef, all fast growth and fancy structures, building their skyscrapers of calcium carbonate with brash, youthful energy. They got too close. A single feathery branch now reaches for the Pavona's ancient, stony flesh. The Pavona does not send a strongly worded letter. It unleashes the cavalry. From its very cells, the Pavona extends its secret weapon, microscopic filaments loaded with a toxic cocktail. They call these filaments sweepers, a deceptively gentle name for what are essentially biochemical grappling hooks. They creep out, invisible, insidious, searching for the enemy's flank. The Acropora, for all its flash, is not without its own defenses. It feels the incursion. The chemical signature of the Pavona is a declaration of war written in a language as old as life itself. And the Acropora responds. It redirects its energy from growth to combat. It swells its tissues at the point of contact, marshaling its own defensive compounds. It's a choral version of raising the shields. But the Pavona sweepers are relentless. They make contact, and the chemical assault begins. The Pavona's toxins seep into the Acropora's delicate tissues. The effect is not an explosion, it's a plague. The Acropora's vibrant color begins to bleach, to die in a spreading patch of white death. It's a slow, digestive burn. The Pavona isn't just killing its rival, it's consuming it, digesting it alive on its doorstep. A brutal, efficient land grab. This is the front line. A no-man's land measured in millimeters. But this war is not just fought with direct attacks. This is a world of espionage and sabotage. Take the soft corals, the gorgonians. They are the flamboyant aristocrats of the reef, waving their garish fans in the current. They seem passive, decorative. Do not be fooled. They are masters of chemical warfare. They don't bother with messy hand-to-hand combat. They simply release their arsenal into the water. They pump out terpenes, a class of compound so potent it creates a chemical halo around them. Any coral larva, the hopeful floating offspring of other species that drifts into this zone, is met with a swift and silent death. It's a preemptive strike. They are poisoning the very ground around their estates to ensure no one else can build. It's less of a fence and more of a moat filled with chemical piranhas. And then there are the sponges, the old money. They've been here forever, lurking in the shadows, and they play the long game. A sponge will exude compounds that actually prevent the baby corals, the settlers, from ever cementing themselves to the rock. They don't fight the adults. They assassinate the next generation. It's a chillingly effective strategy. No new families, no new rivals. The reef, you see, is a battlefield shaped by millions of years of evolutionary one-upmanship. It's an arms race where the weapons are synthesized in tiny living laboratories. A sponge develops a novel toxin. A coral evolves a detoxifying enzyme. That coral then develops a sweeper tentacle. Its neighbor evolves a thicker, more resistant tissue. It's a Cold War where the participants are both the scientists and the soldiers. And the stakes? Everything. Light, space, the very right to exist. A single successful skirmish can mean another century of dominance for a colony. A loss means being slowly digested into oblivion, your real estate absorbed by your killer. But even in this silent, brutal conflict, there is the occasional moment of absurdity. Picture a particularly pugnacious coral, the Galaxia. It's the reef's equivalent of that neighbor who yells at kids to get off his lawn while brandishing a garden hose. Galaxia is so notoriously aggressive, it's practically looking for a fight. It possesses sweeper tentacles that are the stuff of legend, incredibly long, incredibly potent. Sometimes, in its chemical-induced rage, it gets a little confused. It will extend these deadly filaments and attack inanimate objects. A piece of driftwood, a lost diver's fin, a rock. It will wage a furious chemical war against a stone for days, wasting precious energy before finally realizing it has been attempting to negotiate with a mineral. Even in a world of silent killers, there's always one who brings a chemical flamethrower to a rock fight. So the next time you see a photograph of a coral reef teeming with life and color, look again. See it for what it truly is, a metropolis of rival gangs, each holding its turf with a mixture of brute force and chemical cunning, a landscape of slow-motion sieges, silent poisonings, and desperate, last-ditch defenses. The battle for the reef is always raging. It's a thriller written not in actions, but in reactions. A war fought not with teeth and claws, but with toxins and terpenes. It is beautiful, yes, but it is a beauty forged in a perpetual and utterly ruthless state of war.